Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Amy Twido, and I am the Informal Learning Program Manager at the Seattle Public Library. I want to welcome each and every one of you on this special evening featuring some of Seattle's brilliant young people. I am so honored to work with Mr. Delbert Richardson and Ms. Noni Irvin on this extraordinary project, and I want to recognize the incredible work they have done with our youth. I also want to take a moment to recognize that we are living on Indigenous lands, the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples, specifically the Duwamish. Thank you to the Seattle Public Library Foundation for their generous support of this program, and I thank all of you for attending our event tonight. I know you will enjoy it, and you'll learn something new from these young scholars. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Noni Irvin, and I'm honored to begin this wonderful celebration introducing Mr. Delbert Richardson, a community scholar and ethnomuseumologist and second-generation storyteller of the national award-winning American History Traveling Museum, The Unspoken Truth. With use of authentic artifacts and storyboards and the ancient art of storytelling, Mr. Richardson teaches American history through an Afrocentric lens. His work is broken into 4 sections: Mother Africa, which focuses on the many contributions by Africans in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM. American Chattel Slavery, the brutal treatment and psychological impacts of African Americans of the diaspora, the Jim Crow era, the racial caste system that focuses on the creation and enforcement of legalized segregation, and Still We Rise, which focuses on the many contributions in the Americas, Black inventors and inventions. Mr. Richardson's work is primarily geared toward K-12 grade students, as well as professional development training for primarily white female teachers that make up 79% of the national teaching force. Diversity, equity, and inclusion training is also part of Mr. Richardson's portfolio. Some successes that we share with him are the 2017 National Education Association Carter G. Woodson Memorial Human and Civil Rights Award, the 2019 City of Seattle Mayor's Arts Award, the 2021 Museum of History and Industry MOHI Educator of the Year, 2021 Governor's Art and Heritage Spotlight Award, 2021 Kwanzaa Award, 2022, and very recent, Seattle Public School Department of Racial Equity Advancement Outstanding Educator. Mr. Richardson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Noni. Hello, everyone, and the junior storytellers that are on the screen. I am so grateful for your commitment, and yeah, thank you so much. So I want to actually acknowledge Ms. Noni Irvin, Joelle, and Christelle, who this would not happen if it hadn't been for them. And I want to thank Seattle Public Library for their support. Yeah, thank you. I'm a storyteller, so I really want to be mindful of how much I talk, but there's a couple of things I want to share, right? For those that don't know or haven't experienced my work, it's really around identity development and self-actualization for Black and Brown children. And so the museum is really my story. And I say it's my story because being born in 1954, in elementary, middle, and high school, I didn't have any Black history. So how I was socialized around my history is that it started with slavery and enslavement period. One of my goals is to create an opportunity for children to see themselves through a healthier lens. As a result of that, they'll be better prepared to deal with the challenges in the world, specifically around racism and racist institutions. So what I would really like right now is for the junior storytellers, and we do this at every session, we're going to take 3 breaths, okay? And I would like us all to join in if that's possible and get grounded. 1, 2, 3. So now I'd like to ask a favor. I would like for everybody to take your hands and rub them like this, okay? This is how we give energy. Everybody rub their hands. I don't see your hands, Jessica. There you go. I don't see your hands, Kiewa. So now as we rub our hands, I want you to do them like this. Because what you're doing, you're sending out the energy as it relates, hey, Gabby, as it related. And I'm asking for that energy right now because I'm in need and want some energy to do this. Thank you so much. These junior storytellers represent my legacy. I've always had this belief that if I can create a space for the junior storytellers or anyone and give them some information that impacts their awareness, then as a result of that awareness and exposing the information, they become curious. And that curiosity is really what I'm looking for. And as a result of that curiosity, that critical inquiry. I didn't know that. Why don't I know that? And what else don't I know? That's critically important in regards to my work. And so these junior storytellers have been amazing. I asked them all questions around their environment or how they're feeling. And one of the things that one of the junior storytellers shared, I think is so important, is that my belief is our school systems are hubs of institutional and structural racism. And so our children don't have safe places to really see themselves, feel themselves, and express themselves, right? So this junior storytelling project was really about making the connection in terms of relationship and then developing some trust and helping guide them to speak their inside voice. Because all of our children are amazing and have something to say, but it gets suppressed based on things like internalized oppression, racism, colorism, and all those things that are part of the social construct around racism. So I am so excited and nervous because I have not seen these videos. And Miss Noni and I, this is our second iteration of junior storytelling. And so I'm really kind of excited, but a little nervous about, what are we going to see and feel as a result of this experience? So I'm going to close with this. He who tells the story controls the narrative. And we operate from a belief that, for the most part, American history has been taught through the lens of the oppressor. Then how can our children see themselves in the story? So I call it American history, not Black or African American history, so I can see myself in the story. I can create a safe place for them to see themselves in the story and help them understand that they have a place and a voice in changing the world. Okay? Hi, Jada. Thank you so much for coming. So, Miss Noni, I could go on, but I really want to get started because I think it's time for these junior storytellers to change the world through their voice. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marcel. I'm 13 and I'm going to the 8th grade at Mercer International Middle School. My section is in Mother Africa. My story is called Telling the World Who We Are. When I'm at school, I always hear people talking about Africa, and what they say is Africa is dry land, has no water, non-wealthy, and filthy. But I know this is not true. What's really true is Africa is a beautiful place. For example, there's a city called Cape Town in South Africa. It's a really big city with fresh water and lots of tasty foods you can try there. When I go back to school, I will tell all my friends about what I learned, and they will know that Africa is a beautiful place to go to. I ask you, what's one word you think of when you hear the word Africa? I hope you take from my story and think beautiful, beautiful beaches, tasty foods, fresh water, and big cities. That's my story, and thank you.
Marcel, oh my goodness, thank you. And this is how we this is the sign for waving. So thank you, Marcel. I appreciate that so much. And Marcel is the only junior storyteller that was part of the first program. And let me just tell you, if I can, a quick story. Marcel saw me at an event at Seattle Public Schools with his mother, and he came up to me and said, "Mr. D," I said, "Yes." "Are you doing that junior storytelling program again?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I want to be a part of it." And to me, that is amazing and profound for two reasons. The initiative that he showed coming up to me in a public space and really being vulnerable, but saying, guess what? I want to do it again. So Marcel, I applaud you, and you are one of my shining stars. So Marcel?
Yeah.
Did you get a question posed to you about that you was going to respond to?
I can check.
That's okay. That's okay. So I'm going to ask you a question. As a result of this experience, as a result of going through this program again, how do you see it supporting you in a positive way in your school year next year?
Social confidence to talk to my teachers more, and getting things that I need to help my education.
Oh, thank you, Marcel. Thank you. Social confidence. And so I'm just going to say this. One of the things that I still struggle with at times is low self-esteem and low self-worth because of internalized oppression. So one of the things that Marcel talked about is, even though I have some of those challenges, I still want to show up in a confident way in social settings. So thank you, Marcel. Okay. So Miss Minnie said, tell us about the big cities. So thank you, Miss Minnie. And I want to thank everybody that's on the call, because for me, it's so important that you support and embrace and see the brilliance of my work, the brilliance of Noni, Christelle, and Joel, but also to the possibilities when a healthy space is created for Black and Brown children. So can we go to the next video, please?
My name is Josiah Wellens. I'm 17 years old. The title for my document is The Man Who Made Gold Inexpensive. What comes to mind when you think of Africa? Is it mud houses in the middle of nowhere or people in poverty? Most of those stereotypes in Western media portray Africa as a dry, desert type of continent with not a lot of water and no education. With in fact, Africa's Timbuktu was known for its schools and libraries in Africa. And Africa is the source of the longest river in the world, the Nile, flowing through 11 countries. Africa is also the home of the richest man in history. He was the 9th Massa of the Mali Empire. Although the first Mali Empire's Massa was wealthy, he did not compare to the 9th Massa. Mansa Musa was known to have 4 wives, and while the Mali Empire was under his control, it flourished to new heights. He inherited some of his wealth, but most of it came from mining significant salt and gold deposits along with elephant ivory. Mansa Musa also met with the Sultan of Egypt, and it is said that his caravan spent and gave away so much gold that the overall value of gold in Egypt decreased for 12 years. His wealth even reached Europe, so when I think of Africa, I think of a place with a lot of biodiversity, rich in culture, and treasures and jewels.
Yes, Josiah. Oh my goodness. So what I didn't share, and I'm glad that Josiah, you came on, is that all the other individuals other than junior storytellers, we gave the junior storytellers a choice. After I took them through the museum experience, behind the scenes, why I do this, why it's important, then they had a choice of which of the 4 sections they wanted to speak through. And so the fact that Josiah and Marcel talked about Mother Africa is so important in regards to how we tell our story. So Josiah, are you there?
Yeah.
So Josiah is one of the 3 seniors going to senior year. So Josiah, real quick, as a result of this junior storytelling experience and what you learned and some of the things that came up, how do you think that you'll be better prepared for high school next year, and in what way?
With probably more knowledge of knowing stuff earlier, I would say.
Okay. Thank you, Josiah. Much appreciated. Okay. And thank you for showing up. Okay. So Miss Noni, who's next? Oh my goodness. Oh
My name is Maya Held. I am 15 and I'm going to be a sophomore at North Creek High School. And this is my piece, My Hair, My History. My hair, my history, yet you think you have a right to dictate my beauty. My beauty, which is rich in culture, flowing from the homeland. Hair that is long and thick, hair that is curly and coiled, hair that is woven tight enough to see the scalp. No, you may not touch it, as I am not something on display for you to judge and ponder. My hair, my history, the story it tells, the symbols of royalty, wealth, and fertility. But no, this is too much for you. Maybe if we wrap it in scarves of silk, positioned high on my head like a crown, to show that no matter what you say, in my blood is the legacy of queens and kings. But this still torments you. Hair, hair, hair. I'm trying to fit myself into this box of impossible you have imposed on me. Hair braided back and you call it urban and ghetto. Hair let natural and it's unprofessional and wild. I'm left with this feeling of anger and pain, this feeling of confusion because you have created a controversy surrounding my own body, my own culture, the styles of people, the history of my ancestors, all being disregarded because of your own insecurities. Is my beauty so inferior that you may silence it?
Maya, don't leave him with that question. Oh my goodness. So thank you, Maya. And Maya said, I want to do something around hair when we were actually doing the sessions. And I thought it was so important for her to focus on something that's personal, but it's also something that she want to tell the world that regardless of what you think and how you feel, I love my hair. I love my hair, right? Thank you, Maya. Can everybody give Maya hair, get some love, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. So let me just say this here. One of the things and one of the words that Maya had spoke about at the end of one session upon reflection, she said environment, right? Is that right, Maya?
Yeah.
And so what she was telling all of us is that the environment that Miss Noni, Christelle, and Joel have created, this environment, this safe place, is something that they long for, but it's not available for the most part in public schools. So Maya, I remember when we first started this and you were a little shy, right? So based on your experience now, how do you feel that this program, this experience will support you or prepare you for next year in school?
I would say that it prepares me in a sense where I'm more confident in like my own history, just because even if it's not taught really in schools, I'm confident enough to kind of contradict what's being taught.
Right. If I can share a little bit about Maya, she is, I call it continental African. Some say immigrant. So Maya is from Ethiopia.
Yeah.
So what's important about my work is really creating a space for continental Africans and African Americans or people of the diaspora to really start getting to know each other based on history and a lens that's around a healthy environment. So Maya, thank you so much for talking about my hair. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Noni, who's next? Oh boy.
My name is Jada Jones. I'm 15 years old. I attend Garfield High School and I'm going into the 10th grade. The name of my piece is called I Am Human. I am not a monkey in a zoo you look at through a window. I am not afraid to let my skin show. I am a beautiful Black girl. I am dark chocolate with skin smooth as pearl. I am disgusted how we were treated, brings my stomach to a twirl. I've been told that my hair is nasty and nappy. They belittle my curls. We bring up our history. They tell us to let it go. It was so long ago. We get kidnapped and tortured, and they put us in shows, but I am not ashamed of my ancestors resting below.
Thank you, Jada, so much. And thank you for speaking your inside voice. So one of the benefits that I've had is to watch all these junior storytellers grow. So Jada, where are you? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey there. So had to find you on the screen, right? So Jada is going to 10th grade, right? And so I'm just amazed at the brilliance and their ability to really share in an intimate way with courage through words and voice about how they feel and what they really want everybody to know about them through their words. So Jada, based on this experience, do you think that you're better prepared for school next year, and how or why?
Absolutely, I feel like I'm better prepared for school next year because I feel like when our history teachers are teaching us certain things, if they get something wrong and we don't know if it's like right or not, we can't correct them. So I feel like I have more knowledge. So if they get something of my history wrong, I can correct them.
So you can check them, right? You can say, well, wait a minute. I don't think so. So thank you for saying that. And for all the junior storytellers, you have a right to challenge what you're being taught or what you're not being taught and told in school. But you must do it in a healthy way. But questioning and challenging is part of that critical inquiry piece that the museum really, I think, embodies the work that I do. So thank you, Jada, so much. Thank you. Okay, so who's up next, Ms. Noni? Oh boy.
Hello, my name is Kalia Wilson. I'm 13 years old. I go to Nelson Middle School and I'll be going to the 8th grade next year. And I'm doing a slideshow presentation of mental health impacts from slavery in the Black community. And the question for today is, how do you feel about mental health in regards to the Black community? What is intergenerational trauma Intergenerational trauma is when the effects of trauma are passed down between generations and lives through the body through epigenetics. Epigenetics are the study of how behaviors and environments can cause changes that affect the way our genes work. Intergenerational means regarding, involving, or affecting several generations. Now, if you look towards the middle, you'll see a young woman named Ashanti and her great-great-grandparents. And between them are the epigenetics that are being passed down to her, like domestic violence for being constantly beaten and tormented, and low self-esteem from being taught since birth that you're worth nothing, you can't be anything than what you already are. What is systemic racism and how it connects with intergenerational trauma? Systemic racism is racism that exists across a society, within and between institutions and organizations across society. Systemic means relating to a system as opposed to a particular part. And these two are connected because systemic racism is racism that is acted out in society. And when it's experienced in society, it creates this trauma and awareness that gets passed down to generation after generation and so on. Now, if you look towards the left image, you'll see a white kid and a black kid, and you'll see how the white kid has a nice house. It looks very, very well built, and unlike the black kid, his house is more undesirable. And towards the right is a scale of which contains of two families, one white, one black, and on the scale it shows how the white family is seen as more valued than the black family. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the summer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Kalia. So I gotta be honest. Well, Kalia says she's 13, by the way, right? Okay, 13. So when we were rehearsing and doing this, and just so you know, me, Miss Noni, Christelle, and Joel didn't provide anything for her chart and all that, especially Dr. Felder. So when she showed that chart, I said, "Oh, what? What? Epigenetics?" And so in the museum, and I talk about intergenerational trauma, right? And thank you for that. But let's talk about intergenerational brilliance, intergenerational excellence as well, right? Because that's so important. We do not want to focus on a deficit model, but an asset model, right? So Kalia, are you going to be a mental health therapist someday?
I was thinking about it.
I bet. So Kalia, so based on this experience, do you think or do you feel that you'll be better prepared for school next year, and how or why?
I think I will, because I think doing the presentation made me realize even more how important me as a Black female, or how important my mental health is. And I think, excuse me, yeah, I think it will, because came up with a few strategies on how to deal with trauma by watching videos and whatnot. And yeah.
Thank you. I've come up, she said she made the I statement twice. And so one of the things that I really appreciate from all the junior storytellers, they're speaking through the I. They're embracing the self. And when you do that, you're better prepared to navigate this racist world. This is my language. So Kalia, epigenetics is a term that I use quite a bit in storytelling. It's a scientific term, and what it means, and so let's assume that if our ancestors during the enslavement period were exposed and treated a certain way over and over and over again, as a result of that treatment, is passed down through generations. So I believe that a lot of us, people of the diaspora, are carrying traumas that we're not aware of because we've normalized them in a way. So Kalia, you're going to really be a beacon of hope for a lot of people, like all of you are, but to be able to say, I am aware and I've developed some strategies, that's so important. So thank you so much, Kalia. And I really want to use that graph if I can, if you'll loan it to me, okay? Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Thank you. So Miss Noni, who's up next?
My name is Gabriella, and my piece is called Violated of Our Freedom. Did you know that after the Civil War ended, African Americans were still dealing with injustice in their lifestyles? Jim Crow laws were laws that allowed and enforced racial segregation in the United States. For example, in public areas, people of color and white people were divided into different facilities. Schools were divided by race, railroads were divided, healthcare facilities were divided, housing, prisons, and a lot more places were divided, varying on a state. The Jim Crow law also permitted that a person of color and a white person getting married was illegal. The Jim Crow laws were restrictions enforced on Black people. They were forbidden of using places meant for white people. The legal battle against segregation is won, but the community battle goes on. Dorothy Day. Even after Black people were somewhat given freedom, we are still being restricted and being treated unjust. We've come a long way from the days where there was state-enforced segregation, but we still have a way to go. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Gabby, great job, Gabby. Thank you so much, Gabby. So, Gabriella, how old are you?
I'm 14.
Great. So, adults on the screen, these are teenagers, 7th, some 8th grade, and some college. Excuse me, not college, but high school. So I'll make it real clear. Miss Noni and I did not give them these scripts, these words to write. They all developed these stories on their own and how they're going to present the work. I want to make it real clear. Can't take credit, but what I will do and what I will say is that they were impacted in a way, and we get a chance to experience how that's impacted. So, Gabby, based on you getting ready to start school, how do you think this experience or this project will assist you in high school, in school next year?
I think this is going to help me by just being more knowledgeable from everything that I've learned and having more confidence in knowing my history. And like when I'm at school, I feel like I know like more information and I'm not just lost on what we're learning. Yes, and I know even beyond what we're learning in school.
Thank you so much, Gabby. Let's give Gabby a hand, please. Thank you. My knowledge, confidence. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you. Okay, Miss Noni, who's next?
Hello, my name is Emilia Banks. I'm 15 years old. I'm going into the 10th grade, and my piece is called Strange Fruit. Enjoy. Southern trees bear strange fruit. Blood on the leaves and at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, bulging eyes and twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh, and the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the trees to drop. Here's a strange and bitter cry.
Oh,
Naturally great, always brilliant. They try to break you down, but you ain't having it. They try to forget the past, act like it never happened. But if you forget too, it will all have been for nothing. Stolen, our land, our knowledge, our bodies. Stolen, our language, our culture, our identity. But DNA has memory. Souls that carry on the ancient ways of advanced thought and undying strength. The Middle Passage was not our first time here. Our history doesn't start in America. We are the beginning. We rise still. Big lip beauty, don't masquerade in your light, for today is a new time and our sun is shining ever bright. Be the change you want to see in the world. Sometimes you can't rely on the world to just change itself. Be you, be heard, make a change, and remember, history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes.
Mia, thank you. What you don't know, thank you, Mia. And Miss Tanae, who's her mom. Steve, are you there? Steve Sneed is on the screen, and they're developing. His wife wrote a script that's going to be promoted and produced. It's going to be premiered soon. And one of the things I've always wanted in my strange fruit section, which is really an honoring section, I wanted somebody to sing that song live. And so, Mia, when you sing that song, it makes me feel the importance that we honor our ancestors. And the group, what y'all don't know is that when Emilia came on the screen at the very beginning, she came across a little shy. And just so you know, and this is just my truth, I would have never guessed that she would sing her piece. Never. And so when Emilia and Miss Tanae, who's also here, Tanae was on the screen, her mom, and I was concerned, full transparency, after the session, because I really want to create a space for these children to be themselves. And sometimes, because I struggle with adultism, because I have children, that sometimes it could be a challenge. So when I called Miss Tanae after the session, and I was really honest, and Miss Tanae can tell you, I said, Miss Tanae, so just so you know, I'm glad you're there, but do you feel your presence may impact Emilia? And she said, no, Delbert, what I think and I believe by me being there will support her and her confidence. And she said, by the way, she just gave me a draft, or I forget the word she said, that Emilia actually wrote something down as a result of her session, and it was already done when I called Tanae right after the session. So in other words, never, this is Delbert, never judge a book by its cover, Tanae, okay? Never. And so I'm just so grateful. So Emilia, thank you for singing Strange Fruit. Thank you for showing up, really. So can I ask the question, why did you want to sing Strange Fruit for this event?
I wanted it to be recognized that people were hung for the fun of it and as a punishment, and I feel like it should have been recognized.
And I think you did that, don't you?
Yes.
So you know I'm going to ask you this question. So as a result of this experience, how will it prepare you for next year in school?
Well, like you said, I'm a shy person, but I feel like it prepares me by giving me confidence, because the energy, the environment in this Zoom meeting is really nice, and it just made me realize that I should speak out more because my voice is important.
Mom, will you do me a favor? Will you give her a hug for me, please? So I know you're proud. And so junior storytellers, it's so important, the adults on here, Miss Noni and I and Christelle and Joelle, we told them, you get to choose how you tell your story. You could rap, you could sing, you can do poetry, or you can paint. So when we talk about STEAM, science, technology, engineering, art, and math, that A piece is really what I'm getting at in regards to creating a healthy space for their voices, because they're junior storytellers and they're expressing themselves through an artistic way that they feel like they want to be heard. Okay. Thank you so much, Emilia. It's a very difficult song, like Steve just said, and I'm blown away by your beautiful voice. And so I'm gonna go out on a limb, Miss Tanae. Where you guys are in Texas, aren't you? So what I want to say, I would love to talk about Emilia using that recording in the museum at some point, okay?
Okay, yes, most
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Miss Noni, oh man, strange. Who's next, Miss Noni?
My name is Jessica Inochi, and I'm a senior at Garfield High School. The title of my piece is How Could One Be So Cool? How could one be so cool? Starting a duel without having a say in what we do. Ill-mannered ways to tear us up and light the fuel. But we are jewels. Yet, how could one be so cool? I mean, you want freedom? Cool. But we're gonna make Jim Crow so your souls can be our tool. You see, it doesn't matter what you do, because so far, I'm the lion and you're the mule. Screw the 14th Amendment, I do what I do. I mean, you're not gonna buy it, are you? How could one be so cool? I'm going to get your sister and your mother too. You're a pathetic low-life fool. You better hope they obey or they might get trampled by a bull. And yes, we'll make our kids watch too, so they get the memo and take after what we do. Maybe even keep a limb or two and store it in a trophy case in my room. How could one be so cool? Wanting to divide us because of the color of our spew. They believe traits make us inferior. Is that what they teach you at school? But still we may do, building ourselves up and making our kids do the same too. Look how far we came, me and you. I'm proud to say I'm part of the crew. How could one be so cool? Start implicating collective change in order to be a better you. My friends say it's the Black excellence that scares them, scared that we'll arise and seek revenge against them. Black history is American history, and we're building ourselves to the top. And with my fellow storytellers, I ask, now what are you gonna do?
Oh, Jessica. So family, so Jessica's one of the, I think, 3 seniors, and I really talked to them about how are they going to lead in a way in the storytelling group, because they're 13 and 15-year-olds, right? So as a father figure, me, as a junior storyteller, I wanted to challenge them in a way that there's an expectation of rising. And so, Jessica, thank you so much for what you put together. Oh my goodness. How could you be so cruel? So, Jessica, based on being a senior at Garfield, and thank you so much, how is this going to help you in being prepared or showing up at school next year?
Well, I've been in a lot of programs and I learned about a whole bunch of Black history throughout my whole life. And I could thank my schools for that. But, you know, you can never learn enough. There's always more to learn about Black history. So this program definitely helped build more information for me to soak it in and stuff. So
great. So Jessica, you know how Mr. D rolls in this session. So how did you feel? How does it make you feel being in a safe place among, I'm gonna say my language, young people like you? How did it make you feel?
Well, not alone. Like sometimes in school, I'm the only Black kid in my class. So learning, especially in history class, when we're learning about Black history, it's very awkward. And it's kind of like, I don't want to be there most of the time, but with kids my age, or at least in my age group, and we're all learning together, it's not as nerve-wracking to sit and learn about history. So yeah.
Thank you. And one of the benefits, adults, is that they see Black people every time they come on the screen. And I gotta believe that that's gotta feel good as it relates to, like Jessica said, in some of the classrooms, And I had the same experience. I am the only Black child there. So thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you so much. So, Miss Noni, who's next?
Hi, my name is Kiewa Jones. I am 17. I am an upcoming senior and I go to Garfield High. The piece I will be presenting is a poem that I wrote called I Know. Here I go. What's up with the unknown? If you don't know, you should know. I can't seem to unpack why my ancestors still rest in their graves, soaking while not knowing their discredited $1,000,000 fortunes. Without a doubt, from the trees they were lynched on to the dirt stains on the soles of their feet, the mystery of where our modern day is rooted peeks from the end of the tunnel unseen. But one day, the light will shine through, shining the lightness on the darkness of the misfortune of acknowledgement. But what's up with the unknown? You don't know, but I know.
Thank God for Miss Noni. This is year 2, right? So we really kind of develop a template. Thank you so much. We developed a template, and one of the templates was, we really want you to have a title, and we really want you to pose a question to the audience. So based on that, what question do you want to leave the audience with, right? The unknown. So Kiewa, thank you so much. So how did it feel for you developing your poem that's being shared right now?
Sorry, I can't show my video right now because it's really glitchy whenever I have video and voice on at the same time. But it's like nerve-wracking, I guess, because I don't know, but it's cool to see like my own work being shown.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. So do you think you'd be better prepared for school next year?
Yes.
So how might this experience help you being better prepared?
Just like having more knowledge, because a lot of these things that were like told by like other people in this program are things like I haven't ever learned before in school. So if I like am in like a history class and they give false information, then I can like speak up and say the thing that actually happened.
Thank you. So Kiewa, what I heard you say is that each one teach one. And adults, by these amazing junior storytellers I told them this is like a community, right? This is like a safe place. And so what they get a chance to do is learn from each other, lean on each other, and support each other. Thank you so much. Oh, great job, baby girl. Yes. So thank you so much. Okay, Miss Noni, who's next?
My name is Dakota Jeffco, and the title of my poem is Creations That Were Stolen. We created engines, steam, saws, and many more. White people took credit for it all. People think white people made these things we use today. Black people created the saw. Black people created the engine. Black people created steam. Black people are the reason we have these things that we use today. We created all these things, but yet white people took credit for it all.
Mr. D, we can't hear you.
Thank you, Dakota. You know, just so you guys know, I am a little bit intentional with the boys on the screen, just so you know, because I have sons. And I also know, in my view, the Black male in school and society is really, really, really targeted. So, you know, one of the things with Dakota and Josiah and Marcel, I speak to them directly because it's so important that I support them. So Dakota, thank you so much. And, you know, that was kind of personal. I know that. Yes, a lot of things were stolen during the Still We Rise section, but by you sharing your truths, they can challenge you if you want, but you know for a fact what's true. So Dakota, how is this experience with the junior storytellers going to assist you next year in school?
I thought it's gonna help me, like fact check teachers aren't telling the complete truth, or sugarcoating the history.
Thank you. So when you say fact check, that means you have the confidence to challenge them in a healthy way. That's what I'm hearing, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And junior storytellers, that's the piece I really want you to really embrace, that it's okay to challenge in a healthy way. And that's one of the things that the school system doesn't do, is create healthy spaces so there's dialogue. So thank you so much, Dakota, for sharing that with us. And he's a good basketball player too, right, Dakota?
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you. All right, Miss Noah, who's next?
Hi, my name is Ilhan Upshir. I'm 14 years old at Evergreen High School, and my poem's titled Just Like. Just like the many important African American innovators who came before us, like George Washington Carver, born into slavery, coming out as one of the most unique botanists known for 100 uses of peanuts, an important person in agriculture science. Just like Garrett A. Morgan, who came before us to create one of the most used and most important technological inventions, the first 3-position traffic signal. Just like Dr. April Erickson Jackson, being one of the top 50 minority women in engineering for the great contribution of 2009 Lunar Resistance Orbiter. Or just like Katherine Johnson, one of the most important mathematicians that NASA could ever employ and the first Black female, standing as a great reminder to be true to your talents. Just like the many important African American innovators who came before us, we too can stand and create something to share with the world with our creativity and resilience as young African or African Americans.
Yes. Thank you, Ilhan. Ilhan, are you there? Oh my goodness. Ilhan's also a continental African. Ilhan, are you there?
Hello, I think
Thank you. So Ilhan's having some challenges, have had some challenges with her internet, and it's okay. So Ilhan, if you wouldn't mind, thank you so much for your piece. If you wouldn't mind putting in the chat, how will this program assist you or support you next year when you go to school, okay? Thank you so much for showing up, and thank you so much for being just like us. Thank you. All right, Miss Noni, who's next? You're welcome.
Hi, my name is B. I am 15 years old and going into my sophomore year at Garfield High School. The title of my speech is My Unspoken Truth. Being born Black in America, you are faced with more challenges than your average white person. We are judged for our complexion as if we were able to pick how light or how dark we wanted to be. Black girls are labeled ghetto and ratchet, and Black men are considered thugs and gangsters. The cops call them worthless and tell them that they'll never be anything in life. These white history teachers lie and they sugarcoat our history and leave out extra stuff their ancestors did to make themselves feel better. But when you dust off the sugar that they've covered the truth in and you look at how the world is today, you'll realize that nothing has changed. We are still being stripped of our rights, judged, mocked, killed, and beaten by white people and these people with a gun and a badge that are supposed to be our protectors. And yet they abuse their power, mistreat, and take a Black person's life, continuing to dehumanize us as they do, and yet people of color built America. This country they love so much, this country they claim is the best, but yet they give zero credit to the Black men and women who built it. And still after that, they still treat us like trash. We haven't been to the light bulb like the one that's on your phone, in your house, your bathroom, etc. But where's our credit? We haven't been to the doorknob, like the one you use to open the door to the house you swear a Black person will never be able to afford, or that car door that probably costs more than everything I own. You, along with your ancestors, raised your children to hate people of color, but do you not realize that almost everything you have a Black person made or invented? Your ancestors had their children watch us be lynched and were told that it's okay and that we deserve this, so they watch with a smile on their face. Men gather around a fire and watch us burn, and afterwards they cut off our body parts and stuff them in jars for souvenirs as if our bodies is a place for tourists to look at and take with them. They rob us of our intelligence, our work, and our freedom. Even today, Black kids and women are being stolen, kidnapped, raped, and sold for our melanin. Yes, that same melanin that they hate us so much for because they have found out that it is just as valuable as gold. Every day they find out that people of color are so much more than they want us to be. We are smart, we are clever, we are beautiful, and our skin alone is just as valuable as gold. We are elite and they hate us for it and they try to make us think otherwise. So whether I stand or I sit here today, I am done demanding a change. And starting with this speech, I am making it happen. So my question is to you, when will you speak up?
So, when will you speak up, right? That's a good question. I'm so grateful for the junior storytellers. And I'm so grateful that all of you have made a decision by doing this piece that from this point on, my voice is important and I don't give a darn who doesn't care. So thank you so much for that piece. You know, I got a chance to hear some of these during rehearsal and I wrote down, dust off the sugar. She said, when you dust off the sugar. So in other words, you know, don't be fooled by what you see. Underneath is another story. And it's the unspoken truth. So how do you feel this experience will assist you? Thank you so much for taking the time. Thank you so much for speaking. How do you think or feel this is going to assist you with school next year?
Huh?
Hi, so it's okay. So I asked you a question. You asked me a question, right? You asked all of us. I'm going to ask you a question now, B. How do you think that this junior storytelling project is going to assist you next year in school?
I think that it's going to, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Jada said, that if any of my history, as usually if you're in history class and you only know what they've taught you, so if they get something wrong, you wouldn't know it. But now it's like you can kind of correct them from what they've known or what you know now, instead of just sitting there and let them get it wrong.
Yes, B, you can say gently, you know what? Are you sure that's correct? So thank you so much, B. Oh my goodness. And I want to get a copy of all of you who wrote poems as well, because you've taught me a lot in this session as well. Ms. Noni, who is next?
Well, Mr. D.
Excuse me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. What I want to do, thank you. Sorry, Ms. Noni. Ilhan wrote in the chat when I asked her about how will this assist her. She says, I think taking the junior storytelling program made me feel, that's Mr. D's word, made me feel prepared and more confident in developing my voice. Also, it helped me get better at creative writing and being more knowledgeable. Thank you. No, thank you, Ilhan, so much. I'm sorry, Ms. Noni, for cutting you off, but I wanted to read that.
No, that's great. So, Mr. D, we have finished with our junior storyteller videos, and we have our mom contribution video, but I wanted to know, do you want to talk to the junior storytellers first, or would you want to go do the video? How do you want to?
If it's okay, I want to do Miss Tanae first, right? And I want to really talk about, this is the first mom or adult that's been a part of the session. So the story is, when we first started, she was on screen because I think Emilia was having some challenges, or she wasn't on the screen. So as we got to talking, she got to sharing. I said, wait a minute, Mom. So maybe you may want to be part of this program, because she was speaking truth to power. She said, yes. I said, well, great. There's an expectation that I want you to record a piece just like the junior storytellers and send it in. And so she said yes. And so this is the first dual double threat in the junior storytelling program. So I want us to give Mom a hand, please. Please. I can't see you, Emilia. Let me see those hands, Emilia. There you go. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right, Ms. Noni.
German chocolate cake. The name may strike one as curious, not sordid, but how did it get its name? What does that have to do with changing history? Let's find out. How about we start with what makes a German chocolate cake? Here we have a 3-tiered cake with caramel, coconut, pecan icing, and that's really what sets the German chocolate cake apart from other chocolate cakes nowadays. But back then, it was because it was made with a sweeter dark chocolate developed specifically for baking. And let's get more into the timing on that. Sam German's chocolate creation was sold to Baker's Chocolate Company in 1852. And then over 100 years later, Mrs. George Clay submitted her German's chocolate cake recipe to the Dallas Morning Star on June 13, 1957, as the recipe of the day. When General Foods, the owners of Baker's Chocolate Company at the time, found out that the ingredients for this cake were flying off the shelves, they reprinted the recipe and sent it, along with a picture of the cake, to several news outlets nationwide. In that reprinting, somehow the apostrophe S was dropped, and thus creating German chocolate cake. It's pretty simple, though. Was it really that simple at the end of the story? It's probably not even the beginning. As we dig deeper, we find the devil may be in the details. In this case, we're talking about devil's food cake. It's actually similar to German's chocolate cake. They're both chocolate cakes. They both have a rich, deep, dark color. You can add to this family also the red velvet cake, which the only difference between devil's food and red velvet is the fact that the red velvet cake uses beet juice to make its coloring. But these dark chocolate cakes also share a certain moisture texture to them, although they do vary in density. The devil's food cake got its name because it is the dark and spicy cousin or of its predecessor, angel's cake. And the first recipe for devil's food cake was printed in 1902. The recipe originated from the southern states. It's like a lot of good cooking. Another line of cakes that we can add to this family would be the great cakes. As the definition says, these were big cakes that were made with spices like cinnamon, cardamom, cocoa, right? So they were chocolate cakes. Beet juice could be used, cherry juice. Here I have an example of a recipe for the George Washington chocolate cake that uses cherry juice. And this is actually the picture of that cake. So you see the deep, rich chocolate coloring, which I'm sure is heightened by that cherry juice. But they were spicy cakes. Sound familiar? Kind of like devil's food. Now, even though Martha Washington was known for her great cakes, she, of course, was not in the kitchen making these cakes. In fact, we know that they were enslaved people working for the Washingtons and creating these delicacies for their guests. So let's talk about these overlapping facts when we talk about the family of cakes represented here. You also have to take a look at the timing. Back then in the 1700s, the primary cooks were enslaved people. The ingredients used in these cakes with the coconut and spices were indigenous to the Caribbean. People from the Caribbean would have knowledge of how to put these ingredients together. These people would interact, of course, with the Caribbean because as part of and we'd also get the ingredients here in the States as part of the triangular trade that happened. The enslaved folks were stolen from Africa and transported to the Caribbean, where some of them were traded for things like rum and spices, and the rest traveled onward to the United States. We also know that the southern states were populated primarily by Black people, upwards of 60 or more percent even in some states. And that's an estimate. We know those are inaccurate because the records are inaccurate. Unfortunately, though, like many creations at the hands of Black people, others have taken the credit, a reality that predates the United States. So it's simple to just write it down and publish it and lay claim to it. More difficult for people who was barred from learning how to read, write, or apply for patents. Cooks like Chef Hercules, George Washington's head chef, were seen and not heard, their food sought after and enjoyed by dignitaries. James Hemmings, Thomas Jefferson's head chef at his Monticello estate, fared a bit better. Trained in France, he has been credited with dishes like macaroni and cheese and even vanilla ice cream that we know of today, the American version. We all know cake is better with ice cream, of course. And I threw in the ice cream scooper, which was also created or invented by a Black man. Given how the names of Black people and their creations have been omitted throughout history, it's easier for people to believe the German chocolate cake, with its deep chocolate richness and its coconut and pecan icing, was a German dessert. If it's that easy to change the origins of a recipe steeped in culture and tradition, what about bigger, more significant accomplishments of times past? At the very least, it begs the question, who really created German's chocolate cake? In the words of Mulder from the X-Files, question everything.
You're muted, Mr. G.
Thank you, Ms. Noni. So Ms. Tanae, how do you know the X-Files is one of my favorite shows, right? I love that show. So thank you so much. And so when Ms. Tanae told me she wanted to do hers on German chocolate cake, I said, huh?
Yeah.
Then she started to share with me how she wanted to do the storytelling. It made sense because what she really is doing was what I do. Show a chronological timeline, do the research, share information, and really give us an understanding about something that we may experience every day, but do we really know the origin, the history? So thank you so much. So Ms. Tanae, I want you to go last, and thank you, Ms. Noni, because I want to ask the question, as a mother who is involved in their daughter's lives, but came on here not knowing what to expect, but came to an understanding that you are too part of the process of changing the world. What did you take away from this experience?
That we need more of it. It needs to be duplicated in as many schools, states, countries as possible.
Great, thank you so much. Can we give Ms. Tanae a hand, please? Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. And so, thank you. Ms. Noni, so the next step is?
Do we have any questions or feedback from the audience or junior storytellers? Do you have any questions or feedback? Look at Kiewa.
So can I ask, if someone, Mr. D, junior storytellers, I do well when there's silence. I'll just call on people, right? You know that, that's what I do, right? So I see the Sneeds on the screen. Thank you, Vita. Good to see you. And Miss Vita is the one who actually wrote a play about my work, and Steve is directing it. So they have a couple of kids. So I just want to ask you a question. How does it make you feel to be on screen and see another variation of my story being told through the voices of the next generation?
Oh, I thought you were going to say
She's
something.
the writer, so I know she has something
I think
really good to say about this. And she's a teacher too,
I was about to say,
yeah.
I think that what button is pushed for me is my teacher button. And if I could run up and down MLK shouting and hollering and screaming and dancing about the beauty and the brilliance of our children, that's what I'd be doing right now. But then I miss y'all. I wouldn't see the whole thing. I am so inspired. I'm inspired by the creativity, by the capturing of words that are used, and wow, just wow. And so my feedback is this: keep doing what you're doing. Keep employing words to tell the story. Emotions are good, but words have a power to penetrate in a way that emotions sometimes can be blocked. They're easy to block emotions, right? But when you wrap that thing in a good word and you tell that story with the confidence that I hear you talking about you've gained through this Junior Storytellers program, watch out, world, because our babies are on the rise, doing what needs to be done, telling what needs to be told, and we are around you, holding you, shaping you, loving you, empowering you, undergirding you. We are your best cheerleaders, and you can count on us for that. Yes, thank you.
We're also here with my sister-in-law, Vita's sister. Carol Wells. She came to the play too. Do you have anything you want to contribute? You sure? Okay. I would just echo all that Vita said, and whew, you all blew me away with the pieces, the creativity and the commitment to the material. You all are brilliant, and I'm sure my guess is that you probably really don't realize just how powerful you are. You really have created some amazing stuff here that you've done, and yeah, like Vita said, keep doing it, and be confident, be sure of yourself, be proud of who you are, is what you've displayed in this material. And Noni and Delbert, man, you guys, I didn't see it last year, but Vita saw it last year. It's really incredible. So.
Well done.
Well done. Yeah.
Miss Soraya, I saw something that text you want to hang back. Is that what you said? Okay, but be ready because you're next. Dr. Felder. Elder Felder, one of my favorite friends and educator extraordinaire. And just so you know, Dr. Felder's part of this amazing team of our museum. So I really want him to give us a couple of words, if that's possible.
You know, it is possible. And let me say joy and happiness to everyone on this call. You've really made my day, or I should say my evening. And as I listened, I was so much reminded of how important it is to preserve our culture. Each one of you spoke in a way that says, not only is it important, but it also frames our moral way of living, if that's such a thing. But it frames the principles for purpose. And it made me think of this, that this knowledge that we share today just doesn't belong within this group. Now I would ask that you go out and tell your story to others so that they hear your research, so that they feel your story, so that they tell others why it's important to know their history, to know their importance in this world. So let me say thank you dearly. As an elder, sometimes I wonder whether or not we connecting to our past. I no longer wonder because of you. You demonstrated, and let me say it again, you demonstrated how important it is to know who you are so that you have cultural efficacy in everything that you do for others. So much appreciation. And I say that with lots of love, because you've not only honored all of us today, but I'm sure that in service, you will honor many in the future. Thank you for doing what you have done.
Thank you. So Dr. Felder, thank you. You gave them a big word. You said efficacy, right? So could you just share a little bit about what that means?
Absolutely. Someone said, or a couple people said, that I feel confident. I feel confident to be able to explore. I feel confident to be able to share. That's efficacy. Efficacy is really about saying to yourself, I know who I am. I believe in myself. I have purpose. I'm clear about how to create change in this world. That's efficacy. I could walk into any of these classes, and based on what I now know, I can shield myself from racism. I don't think racism will ever die and go away, but I'm confident based on what you guys have shared that you can shield yourself from racism so that you can become who you want to be. That's efficacy.
Thank you, Dr. Felder. How are you going to show up prepared for a system that's really designed to make you feel like you don't matter and that you're not worth anything? And that's not true. Thank you, Dr. Felder. So, Ms. Soraya, are you ready now? I hope I said your name right.
I say Soraya like papaya, if that helps. But yeah, I just wanted to jump in and really give my thanks and sincere apologies. So I'm from the Seattle Public Library, and Amy asked me to participate, and I got my times mixed up. So sorry, but for everyone I was able to see, it's just incredible work. I'm new to the organization. I've only recently learned about what's going on, and just it's so powerful, and it's so needed to have your voices elevated and showing such your experiences as youth, especially, I think is so critical to really moving this work forward. It's hard most days when it feels like we've come so little in this country or in this world in terms of growth and change. And the youth of our generations give me such hope, and y'all really, like, my heart is just so full. And so I'm so glad we were able to collaborate with y'all on this. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how we can, further collaborate and what other opportunities we can share this out. So from the library side of things, I'm not sure on AB's plate what sharing these pieces of art out looks like, but from my position within the organization, I'd love to talk more and explore what comes next. So thank you all.
Thank you. So Soraya?
Yes, yeah.
So I got to ask you a question, and we're just meeting, but this is how Mr. D shows up because it's important. How do you identify ethnically?
I'm Southeast Asian, so I'm Malay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And what's your position at Seattle Public School? At the library?
I'm the new Youth and Family Learning Manager, so I oversee youth services for the system.
So Dr. Felder, do you know her?
My spirit has joined you in this moment.
So let me just say this, Dr. Felder and Ms. Noni are committed to providing books and to strengthen literacy in the Seattle Public Schools. So would love to talk to you about how we build on that. So the last thing I want to share, someone put in the chat, they want to actually, they said that they want to be a storyteller, Ronnie. So one of the things that's coming up is that how do we, especially Dr. Felder and Ms. Tanay and Soraya, how do we create something for adults, right? This doesn't have to be just youth, right? So how do we create a healthy space for adults to create something through the museum and speak their voice? And what are you going to do? One of the junior storytellers said, the question was in reference to, so what are you going to do? So I want to thank you for showing up and thank you for sharing. And I appreciate Seattle Public Library being a collaborator in helping us change the world. Okay.
Let's talk more.
Yes. So someone has their, go ahead,
Mr. D, let's hear from Brother Ronnie and then Miss Christelle, if we could.
Yes, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Mr. Ronnie Jones, Kiewa Jones' dad, and Jada Jones' uncle.
Okay.
And I forgot where I know you from, Mr. Delbert, but we've crossed paths 25 to 28 years ago. But my point is, I have never used my atonement that I was supposed to from the Million Man March and teaching the youth and holding Black studies and teaching the youth. That's what I was supposed to do. That was what I was charged to do. So for years I've said, if there's even though it's every day is Black History, every month is Black History Month, in February, should something come about where I can get in and do something, I've never done it, even with my 21-year-old out of school now. So my point is, if something's coming up next February and the strange fruit piece that the young lady touched on, I have a wealth of knowledge in that. And I remember it's hard. Yeah, that's hard hard to take in the heart, folks, because they used to actually sell tickets. You know how we go to the club this weekend and we're gonna party. Well, this weekend we're gonna go see blank, blank, blank. But so yeah, I'd like to create something around that and just share that in the next event you guys are having, something like that.
So did I hear you say you want to be a part of this?
Yes, sir, because I'm Black first.
Well, every day. So I hear you say you Kiewa's dad?
Kiewa's dad and Jada's uncle.
And Jada's uncle?
Yeah.
Get out of here. So let me ask this question to you specifically. How does it make you feel to hear your baby and your niece, Jada, speak their voice?
Well, first of all, they both my babies, but but it just without, like I said, without me telling them anything or sharing anything, I live in the house with Kiewa and haven't really shared a lot with her. So, and I hope to do that. I'm gonna try and memorize her poem. Should she share it with Dad? But it makes me feel good to know that, wow, they're kind of like Dr. Felder said, it's out there, it's working, it's spinning, it's in their head, they're revolutionizing the world. They already got a plan, they're already on it. And part of that is thanks to you guys and your foundation, your company. But sometimes we worry, you know, from what we see in society today with today's Black youth. And it's like, well, it's, you know, it's all fading away. And then to hear something like this with all these children on there, they all deserve a round of applause. But to hear all of them, it's like, oh my goodness. So okay, so yeah, we're fine. We're in the right direction.
Thank you. And Miss Norton, we're going to hear from Miss Christelle, then we'll go to Miss Emilia. But thank you so much. And I'm gonna connect with you, and we're gonna hold each other accountable. I love this, to continue to do our part, to continue to have the hope that's necessary for our babies to be as brilliant as possible. Okay. Thank you.
And I'll get the information from Kiewa so I can reach out to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Christelle. So should I say a little bit about Christelle, please? Christelle is amazing. She is a part-time, I hate saying employee. We work together, but she's also very skilled. And Miss Christelle brings an ingredient to this experience because she's a continental African, meaning she wasn't born here. And so as a result of her lived experience on the continent and being a part here, I have seen her grow. So Amia, you say you're a little shy. Miss Christelle also will say she's a little shy, but guess what? She ain't shy no more. So Christelle, Miss Christelle, you want to share a little bit with us, please?
What would you like me to share? Hi, everyone.
So you know how we roll. So the question I gave you, do you remember?
I do. I have to like go fetch for it because I'm like on my phone right now.
No, we're not doing that. So what I really want you to share from your heart, what was this like for you and how has this impacted you as a continental African?
Apologies for the background noise. I'm in the car, but I just didn't want to miss this because yeah, we're with her junior storytellers for 3 weeks, seeing her grow from the beginning to now. I've watched the videos many times and every single time I'm touched and learning something new. So I really appreciate every single one of them. And I'm just like, you know, grateful for just having spent time with every single one of them. In regards to your question, for me, being part of this program as in continental African, as you will say, was great because I'm learning a lot of the history that I need to learn to go into practice. So I'm currently getting my master's to become a therapist, clinician. In 2023, I should start practicing, actually. So it's really good to learn that history as I want to work with Black people. And as Kalia was sharing, trauma runs through her blood. And to be able to heal trauma, you have to learn the history. And I think a lot of Black people have that trauma and do not know. And also mental health is still a stigma in the Black community. So being part of this program empowers me to just teach people about the history, first of all, and also learn more about the history to help people with their mental health and their trauma as well.
Ooh, so, you know, Mr. D loves asking these questions. So I heard you say something that you can envision doing something with the museum to support the healing process. Is that true?
Correct. It is true.
So in what way do you see yourself being a part of changing the world through your practice in the junior storyteller, the history program?
I think a lot of the stuff that we learn, it can be triggering and can be emotionally taxing. So it's about having a safe environment, a safe space where people can build on each other and learn from each other, and also learning tools to really heal as well. Because you can have that history, learn it, and then take it home with you, but it still can be traumatizing. So giving people the tools to be able to heal and deal with their trauma.
Thank you, Christelle. And you know what? We're going to make it happen because Dr. Felder, one of the things I strongly believe is that we need to create healthy spaces to talk about the things that are impacting us externally and start learning to identify if those things are impacting us internally. So thank you so much, Christelle. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. So Miss Emilia, are you there? Oh, wait a minute, Miss Emilia.
Yes,
No.
yep, Sister Emilia, and then Brother Joel, please.
Okay, got you.
So hi, yes, I am here. I just want to congratulate all the youth and let them know how proud I am of them, particularly my son, who wanted to do this, you know, so he's interested, he's learning, he's engaging, and just wanted to thank, you know, the team, particularly Mr. Delbert and Noni, for the gentle way of how y'all bring in the learning. Keep it interesting, keep it fun, and keep it motivating that they have to do the work. So there's so many life skills that they're building along this process. And so as a parents, we are first teachers, and we definitely should stay engaged and stay involved. But it's beautiful to know you have a community that's also being that circle of support for our children. So I just want to give you all the applause, hand claps and finger snaps for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Miss Noni, before we go to Joel, could you just share a little bit about your experience with Marcel, who is Emilia's son, last year and this year, please?
Okay, so, well, yes, so, oh, Marcel, I am so happy when I see your presentation because one, you've grown, you've gotten bigger, you've gotten a little bit more bass in your voice, you're getting big, and last year Marcel was very shy, and he's probably still shy, and so it just, one, for people who are shy, it's really a thing to be in front and sharing out loud, and so I just applaud you, Marcel, for that. Your courage to ask to do it again is just amazing. So I'm really just so proud of you. And one of the really great things about Marcel is last year, you know, he shared his piece and went through, and it was really wonderful. But this year, by the time we got ready to get presentations together, he was ready for he's ready to do a live workshop with adults and folks in the audience. He's about to take live feedback and respond directly. I said, get it, Marcel. You know, he's ready to be, Mr. D needs to just bring him in to the next workshop he does and give him Mother Africa, because man, it's so cool to see them just open up and be excited about what excites them. You know, I'm a mother of two teenage sons, and finding the thing that excites them is a big deal, and we just want to support them whenever we see that flame, that smoke, that fire. And just so Marcel, good job, great job, amazing job, and I look forward to visiting Cape Town, South Africa, and seeing that picture in real life. And I just hear, you know, when I think of the word Africa, I'm gonna see you, and I'm gonna think of water and riches and beautifulness. And so, you know, super proud of you. So proud of you.
Thank you, Marcel. We're going to go to Joelle, but I really want to acknowledge, I believe, Jessica, your parents are with you. Is that true? I mean, Kalia, excuse me, not Jessica, Kalia.
Yeah, they are.
So thank you so much for coming on screen. I mean that, because I'm an adult and these are your babies, and I really want you to know and feel that they're also mine as well, meaning they are my great nieces and great nephews. And Miss Elijah hit on something. This is really about how do we prepare them with life skills, right? How do, and Dr. Felder talked about this, how do we prepare them with that shield that us as adults, especially that are Black, know in the heart of our hearts that there are going to be challenges through a racialized lens that they're going to have to need a plan in order to thrive. So I want to thank you so much, parents, for coming on, and so you can really experience your amazing, amazing baby. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. D.
Yes. So, Mr. Joel. So everyone knows, Mr. Joel is also, we work together. I really don't like saying part-time employee or working for me. We work together. But Joel is also being groomed as a mentee, but also to take this work forward and be the legacy part of this work. And so Junior Storytellers, I'm so glad that Christelle and Joel were on the screen, because I challenged them also too, when you guys weren't even there, how it's so important to really embrace grace and patience with youth, because you were there one day, right? So Joel, would you mind just sharing a little bit, because you are a powerful guy, right, Noni? So you just share a little bit what your experience is like when you first showed up, and remember how the Junior Storytellers showed up and you were a little bit concerned about how this is going to work. But as this thing has evolved and you become the editor of their videos, really want you to share the transformation that you experienced from the very beginning to now what we've produced.
Absolutely. First, I want to say good evening, everybody. It's great being in community together. Love seeing so much Blackness and just, the term that people use, people of color, all in one space. The power's here and it's evident. Thank you to Ms. Noni and Mr. Richardson, Mr. D, for providing this space and bringing me in, and Christelle as well for her support and just the continued work, and all the parents for just rearing up and nurturing these kids that are extremely powerful, as you can see. For my experience, from day one, hopping on the camera and seeing that nobody had their camera on, that everybody was muted, looking at that and thinking like, hold up, I thought we were supposed to have some youth, some eager youth to participate and keep going. My background is in project management and youth development, doing a lot of work with nonprofits. So I had the opportunity to develop programs, and one of the biggest components is offering compensation or paying young people to show up and do work. So when youth weren't showing up, I was asking Mr. D, are we paying them? Is that what's going on here? I would expect, people to show up. But Mr. D, of course, encouraged me to reflect about when I was young, my role, how I showed up. And although I think I would have been off camera, it's easy to say when I wasn't, this age and forced to be virtual all the time. But as I continued to show up to sessions, and then when I got tasked with editing together the videos, the power was there, was evident, and people that I have not seen at all, because they were muted and they were off camera, they showed up and they were bright and they were light, and what they had was power behind their messaging, in the way that they held themselves and the information and the stories that they gave. And, honestly, watching these stories one time really isn't enough to really kind of get it, to really let it sink in and to feel. Unfortunately, that's the time that we have. But it's extremely powerful. So I believe these are going to be on the Seattle Public Library site. I think they're also going to be on Mr. Richardson's site as well. So when you get time, I would say review some of these. Altogether, I think it's about 30 minutes of clips. Don't just review your child's, although your child did an excellent job. I encourage you to look at other people and hear some of the stories that these young people are sharing. Be reminded of their age, 13, 14, 17, 18, and the power that's behind what it is that they're saying, the depth and that sense of understanding, and how they get to carry that forward with them for a lifetime. So that's what I'll say about that. Very grateful to be in this position, in this role. Very proud of every single one of the junior storytellers, and extremely happy to be in community. So, yeah.
Dr. Felder and Ronnie and the adults, Ms. Tanae, just so Steve and Vita, I feel like this work is in great hands with Joelle, okay? I've been sent an angel. Look at Dr. Felder. Yes, because yeah, I'm getting up there a little bit in age, and at some point I've got to be willing to let this go. And Joel pushes me in a way because he's young enough to be my son. And so there's that. Dr. Felder talks about culture. So there's this culture that Joel and Christelle represents that really challenges me to have a better understanding of what's going to be necessary for the junior storytellers. So I'm so grateful for that, Joelle. I'm so grateful. So thank you.
Mr. D, could I share? I know I just talked about Marcel, but I would love to share about the junior storytellers.
Please.
Okay, well, thank you. Just really grateful. One, I'm grateful for Mr. Delbert Richardson, who when it came up, hey, we want to meet community in a space and really be let community design it, he said, hey, I'd like to have some junior storytellers. And thus began the whole path down this wonderful road, right? All of the work that the last year's junior storytellers shared, I have watched those videos multiple times, and I think about them daily as I go through my year, as I go through my week. The ones this year, it's like it's like what Brother Steve said, Brother Steve Sneed, you all don't know how powerful, you don't know how powerful you are. And the adults in the room know how powerful you are, because it's pretty amazing. So I would just encourage you to, and they're so wonderful. Every single story, expression, conciseness, or even elaboration was just amazing. And to watch you all in the sessions and to hear you share, and then to see you show up. Like I said before, it's one thing to think something, to learn something. It's another thing to create something that's your own. And it's something entirely different to share it with the world. And so in doing that, I just applaud you. I'm so proud of you and grateful for you. And I just want to say thank you for everyone showing up today, and for letting this be another seed or seeds. And that if we can imagine, lots of junior storytellers, families getting involved, even the vision is to have our junior storytellers walking our elementary school students through their own experience and having them develop their stories, then we carry our culture forward. So thank you, Mr. D. Thank you, junior storytellers, and thank you, parents, for following up on all the emails and the we need this and the we need that. And so just grateful. Thank you.
And I've got to say this real quickly, and Dr. Felder is my witness, is that Miss Noni Irvin is amazing. She doesn't say, she does. And there's no, Joelle, there's no way we could have pulled this off without Miss Noni. No way. So yeah, I'm Mr. D. I'm the da-da-da. No, but behind every great man, there is a host of amazing women. A host. And so I want you all to know, especially the junior storytellers on here, they identify as she and they, that Noni is an amazing model, and she really leads with intention. So Noni, I just want to say thank you so much. So we're about to wrap this up. And so I just wanted to know, I hate to see you go, right? So I would love to ask a couple of junior storytellers, how does it feel now that you've gotten some feedback from adults on your brilliance? How does that make you feel? And you know Mr. D, right? He'll just say, Gabby, what do you think? Gabrielle? Yes?
It makes me feel like my voice is heard and important.
So adults, I'm into feelings, because one of the things that I don't think spaces are created enough for our youth is for them to share how they're feeling. And that's so important. Ain't that right, Maya? How's that make you feel, Maya, to get the feedback?
It definitely makes me feel a little bit more like reassured, just because I'm being kind of, I don't want to say validated, but you know, being told that like my story is important.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And Miss Emilia, I would love to hear from you. You know that, right? How does it make you feel getting the feedback?
Makes me feel like I'm doing a good job and I should really keep up the work.
Good. And I love your Billie Holiday, your do, and I'm just saying, I can't wait to go back and watch that. So we're gonna close this out with two more, and Kalia. So based on what the feedback that you've gotten and your amazing support systems behind you, how does it make you feel to get the kind of accolades or the support from your piece?
Sort of like what Amia said, I feel pretty good about it, and it makes you want to keep doing or keep doing what you're doing in a way.
Thank you. Dakota, you know it. Come on, you know I was gonna call you.
I felt good getting feedback from people. It's like my voice was heard, and like I can use this as motivation in the future.
Yes. So Ronnie, there's somebody next to you, huh?
Say something.
Wife, Yolanda.
Wife.
Oh, see, you guys are just meeting me. Mr. D does this all the time. He healthy picks on people, right? Right, junior storytellers? You never know if they're gonna be called on next. And this is one of the ways that I help them build their muscle to be prepared, because you are ready. So Miss Yolanda, would love to hear from you based on what you've just experienced with Ronnie.
I think it was a great program. Just listening to my daughter, you know, knowing that she's, you know, a pretty shy person, and just to hear and see what she put out there, you know, it made me feel good. And just to know that this program seems like it's a very good program for her. And I thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And just so you know, that's my report card. Dr. Felder, Steve and Vita, Miss Noni, Joelle, and Christelle, is really how is what we're doing impacting the family as well? Because I'm really community orientated, and it's so important that there's a holistic approach in the community to supporting these amazing junior storytellers. So I just want to thank you so much.